Hi, I'm Karen. I am an artist at heart, and I am the founder of Paint Your Essence. And Paint Your Essence is a way of learning a little bit about yourself through art. Um, what and Paint Your Essence has the word paint in it, but you really can use anything. Like some people write, some people, I think creativity is everywhere. And like I know people who are really creative with numbers. I know people who are creative in their way they cook or the way they develop and make their own tea blends. There's creative people in the way they do gardening, even the way you walk to the office or it's just the way you exercise. So it depends on what you consider you're a genius at. I think that is what you're creative. But so it's using all of that and um, learning a little bit about yourself by using that.
Welcome to Parents Talk. We believe in nurturing strong and confident kids today rather than fixing broken adults tomorrow.
When you know yourself and you know your choices and you get to see life so differently, you get to see life as what's possible instead of letting things get in the way.
That's a beautiful sentiment for parents when they consider how they interact with their children. Why would parents want to get to know themselves better?
Well, I think it's important for anybody's life, whether you're a parent or not, to tell you the truth, because I'll go back to the beginning. It's like for me, when I learned did self-growth, it was a struggle, but you learn a little bit about yourself and even at the stuff that you don't like. But there's ways of learning that you have choices. You can choose to look at something as an experience and figure out why it happened, or you can choose to say, well, that person hurt me and blame, and then blame them for everything and be on a victim triangle. So I have found a way for myself to learn a little bit more about me, because it helps me create a life that is so much more fulfilling and so extraordinary and so worth living. A life that's full like that is just so much more fun and playful, and I think so much more happens for you in a good way than in a bad way.
I love that you mentioned playful because I'm an advocate for finding your inner child.
Yes, me too.
And once you find your inner child, you will relate to other
Yes.
children, not only other children as in youngsters, but other people and their inner children.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I see the light of the inner child more now than anything else in a person. And that's why I was attracted to Karen in the first place when I met her in a speaker summit, and why I asked her to come and talk, because I think our inner children were speaking to each other.
Yeah. I loved your butterfly. I think I didn't realize that we were actually going to be doing this today because like I don't have my art behind me or anything.
You tell us any aha moments that people have had during your classes.
Oh, I think there's been so many. I'm trying to like connect to some of them right now. Well, without saying, there's just been there's someone who I've had tears. Whenever I get tears, I feel like I've done a good job. I mean, I hate to say that, but at the same time, that means it touched them. I think it depends on the topic, because I do monthly sessions, and inside the monthly sessions, it's a specific topic, and sometimes people can go deep. I actually have a regular client who's a lawyer, and she was so right brain, and now she's left brain, and she's really starting to play with color, and she's starting to see how she's like shining, and it's so different for her in that realm, to be more on the right side of the brain and not be so rigid. So that's really cool. I've had one person who learned so much more about herself and found ways to um, be stronger, and actually a couple of different people kind of like realized, looked at their relationships and realized that this wasn't the right person for them, and they've broken away from them, and are growing and seeing what is possible for them. One actually wanted to get into art therapy because of it. So, and uh, one of my clients came with a picture in mind of what she wanted to make, and it was her first time ever coming, and she like sat down there and she's like, I want to make this, and I'm like, okay, and then she like stormed out of the room. So I went to go talk to her, and she said, it all came down to that she took an art class one day, and the teacher told her she was doing it all wrong. And I said, there's no right way or wrong way of doing this. And she actually taught me something too, because like Paint Your Essence is all about symbolic painting. It's not like you have to have it so perfect. You have to have the elephant look like an elephant. It can be abstract or something. It doesn't have to be so perfect. And she taught me that, she goes, I just want to put my hand in the paints and paint. So she did. So I started from that point on going, you can pick your own symbols, because I used to set it up where if it was like about love, then I would have them do two doves, and so they had to use the symbol that I chose, and I'm like, not everybody connects to that. So it's more kind of became more like an intuitive painting for yourself. So you put it out on the paper. But it was really interesting that she had so much fun. She said it's a mess and it's dark colors, but I had so much more fun just playing with the color and the paint and not worrying about what it looked like. So I feel like that's what my clients get out of this. They get an opportunity to see that it's a work in progress, or it's not going to be perfect, but I get what I'm like trying to teach myself from this.
How beautiful. And I want to go back to the beginning of where you were talking about the right brain, left brain.
Oh, yes.
I was an aircraft electrician in the military. I've got a degree in electronics. I worked in a factory where we counted numbers of products that were defective and how to fix them and how to prevent the defects. It was all very mathematical, very clinical, very stressful. And
Yes.
I forgot how to connect with my creativity until I connected with my inner child. And I didn't paint, though. I made something out of flowers. I made a little crown out of flowers.
That's so cool.
As I was doing this, I felt something open up inside of me.
Yes. 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 That's
I could
perfect.
really identify when you were talking about that lady who was left brain, and then the painting helped open up her right brain.
Yes.
And it also made me think of parents who are so concerned with grades and health and discipline that sometimes they forget about allowing their children to be creative, or better yet, getting creative with your children.
Right.
My favorite childhood memory was when my mom cloth on the table and we just made stuff.
Oh, that's so great. That's so fun. I love that. Sorry, that is so cool. I didn't realize how much I was a creative soul when I was a kid. Like, it didn't dawn on me. Like, I did needlepoint and rug hooking, but who knew? Like,
Yeah.
and then who knew? Like, I was like, I never liked the the pre-patterns I like, so I had to create my own,
I was
you
just
know?
thinking about that. Yes.
It's like I was like, I had so much more fun just, like, going outside the lines
Yes.
and not being inside, and I think that's what's also important is when you get to use your creativity and you play, you think outside the box.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about like, "Oh, I have to stay within this little thing." No, you get to be out there playing and experiencing life.
This is where all the new inventions come from. If everybody just stayed like this, we'd
Right.
never get anything new.
Yes. Totally.
I remember on the assembly line once, we were building this product and like 9 out of 10 were defective.
Yeah.
And everybody was thinking very in the box is the only way to put it, in the box. Well, just get rid of that batch and bring in another batch. And then that batch was bad too. What do we do now? I thought outside of the box. I called the manufacturer and I said, this is what's happening to your product.
Right.
Next thing I knew, these people from Japan were in our plant giving us what we needed to fix it.
Right. Right. Right.
Rather than say, oh, well, we'll just let it go through and then let them change them out at the end. These Japanese engineers were able to give us something that we could do during the assembly process.
Right.
Thinking
Wow.
outside of the box and asking for help.
So simple, right? And nobody asks for help.
Right.
I don't get that.
The point I'm trying to make here is if you are a parent and you are the left brain, or you are so stuck in the daily turmoil of making ends meet and getting your kids where they need to be, and you need some help to get out of that box,
Yeah.
Karen and other people like her can help you find a class.
Right. Exactly. I think what's also really cool is if you see that you are a left brainer, but your child is learning things differently as a right brainer. I think I was like that. I think the family I grew up in was left brainers, and I happened to be the one in the right brainer side. And then you get shut down and you get cut off, and you say that's not the right way to be. You have to be this way. But no, let this child be that creative soul, because it's just going to brighten up your life just as much. You just have to like slow down and talk to them differently. You have to figure out a different way to communicate, whether it's in pictures or words, but it's like finding a different way of connecting with that child. I think that's really that just hit me that how important that is. And a good way for me to reframe some of my stories, by the way, is that if my parents knew that,
Yes.
they would have treated me so differently, I think.
Do you ever do classes with the parents and children together?
I've never, but that sounds like a really fun idea.
It just came to my mind for those parents who are left brain with the right brain kid. That could be a great way to teach them how to communicate.
Yeah. Yeah. Truly. And then have the right brain say what they see, and then have the left brain see what they see. Ooh, that sounds like a really fun class.
Yes.
Even for adults, because wow. Yeah. I like that. Okay.
That could even be marriage therapy for the left brain and right brain.
True. Absolutely. Or any relationship that's a little opposite, that you're not communicating right. Well, maybe there's something about that
I could see this as a corporate training also.
Totally.
I love
the creative brain is just,
right?
yeah, like our brains are just like
Yeah.
They're connecting.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Because I do a lot of leadership training. I'm seeing a very good exercise right here.
Yeah, yeah, it was like looking at the left brain. Who's right? Who's wrong? Is it the right brain or the left brain? And what if they're both right?
They're both needed.
Yeah, and they're both needed. And they're a yin and a yang,
Yes.
and they're both needed, and neither one is perfect, and neither one is imperfect.
We hope we inspired you to change the way you think. If you just change one thought, how will you inspire your children to be more confident? Stay tuned to Parents Talk. And if you want more information about the Confidence Club for Kids, just plop a comment down below. I'll get back to you just as soon as I can. This is Francine Juhlin, the founder of the Confidence Club for Kids. We'll see you later.